Have you noticed how with the years the body quiets down, as if desires no longer have anywhere to grow, as if intimacy no longer calls, as if everything that once was warmth has turned into coldness? After 60, many women admit, "I don't want to, I don't care, I even feel guilty, but inside me, there's silence." Is it hormones? Is it psychology? Or just age? In this video, we'll talk openly, but with dignity, about something very important. About why after 60, sexual desire fades, the body changes, and the attitude toward it does too. And sometimes, the heart longs for intimacy, but the body doesn't respond. You will learn 5 main reasons why a woman may lose intimate desire, which of them are physiological and which are deeply emotional, and what can be done to bring back not just passion, but tenderness toward yourself. This video is not about shame and not about norms. It's about how to listen to yourself and not stay silent where silence hurts, because true love begins with deep respect for the changes within oneself. I'll start with the first, deepest, and most common reason, which is rarely directly mentioned, but it often becomes that invisible barrier through which desire fades, even when the heart still remembers what love is. Hormonal changes that not only affect the body, but also the sense of self. After 50 to 55 years, a woman's body enters a phase often referred to as menopause. But this is not just the end of periods. It's a physiological restructuring of the entire female system, affecting energy levels, mood, sleep, metabolism, and in particular, sexual desire. The central role in this is played by the hormone estradiol, the main form of estrogen in women. It's responsible for skin sensitivity, mucus lubrication, libido, and blood circulation in the pelvic area. When estradiol levels drop, which is a natural process with age, the female body no longer feels sexual signals as it once did. What exactly happens? Blood supply to intimate areas decreases, reducing sensitivity. The mucous membranes become drier, and any intimacy may cause discomfort or even pain. The clitoris loses sensitivity, arousal occurs more slowly or may not occur at all. Orgasms become weaker or may not happen at all. And when this happens over and over again, the brain remembers. This doesn't bring pleasure. It's difficult. Better not to touch it. But that's not all. Hormones are not only linked to physiological processes. Hormones are the chemical language of the body. They are responsible for the feelings of desirability, lightness, and femininity. When they decrease, a woman begins to feel that she's no longer that woman, that her body is no longer attractive, that she's somehow out of the space where she could be desired. And this is the most painful, because the lack of desire becomes not physical, but personal. What can be done? First of all, stop blaming yourself, because it's not your fault. This is not the end. This is a new phase. There are natural ways to gently support yourself during this period. Phytoestrogens, soy, flax, red clover, natural intimate moisturizers, light physical activity to improve circulation, and most importantly, returning to the body not through sexuality, but through care, touch, warmth, physical presence, acceptance. Because desire is not always about sex. Sometimes it's about the feeling that you're still seen, heard, hugged, not for action, but for you. And now, the second reason, which is deeper than hormones. It's not in the body, it's in the tired heart, in the thoughts that never stopped, in the years when a woman was everything for everyone, and never a moment was just herself. 2. Emotional fatigue, when a woman simply can't give anymore. Many women over 60 admit, "I don't feel desire because I feel empty inside. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of someone always wanting something from me. I'm tired of being needed. I just want peace." This isn't about losing sexuality. It's about losing yourself in endless roles: mother, wife, caregiver, support. For decades, a woman has been giving her care, her tenderness, her support. And if there was no partner who also gave, then in later years, the reserves of emotional energy simply run out. How does this manifest? The woman no longer feels her body as a source of joy. Any closeness causes inner resistance. She feels tired even thinking about intimacy. Intimate gestures feel like an unwanted intrusion into her space. And then the body responds by refusing. It doesn't want to. It can't. It's not ready. But not because of age, but because the woman never had space to simply be with herself, without obligation, without expectations. Why is it important to understand this? Because very often, women don't acknowledge this fatigue. They blame themselves. I'm cold, I'm old, I'm broken. But in reality, they simply haven't listened to themselves for many years. Intimacy isn't about playing a role, it's about inner consent. And if it's not there, no hormone, cream, or method will help. What to do? Allow yourself the right to say no, without guilt. Learn to restore emotional strength through silence, reading, touch, nature, and time for yourself. And when the desire comes, don't rush into action. Just be in touch with your body. And if there's a partner nearby, it's important for them to understand. Your closeness is not pressure. It's a space where I feel safe. Because desire doesn't return from the outside, it blossoms from within. When there is space for yourself again. The third reason that women often remain silent about, not because they don't notice, but because it's painful to admit how a body, once a source of confidence, beauty, and desire, has now become a source of anxiety, doubt, and shame. 3. The fear of one's own body. How changes in appearance suppress desire. As we age, the body changes. This is natural, but it's not always easy to accept. The skin loses its elasticity, the figure becomes different, muscle tone weakens, and the mirror sometimes feels cruel, and you want to hide. Not undress in the light, not let anyone touch you, not because you don't want intimacy, but because you no longer feel beautiful. This is a very deep, often invisible reason why a woman withdraws from intimacy. How does this work inside? A woman begins to avoid touch because she's afraid it will see her aging. She becomes tense even during intimacy because she feels ashamed. Any hint of intimacy causes not warmth, but a defensive reaction. To run, turn away, refuse. And then, the body that craves love simultaneously does not allow anyone to get close. What really hurts? It's not so much the external appearance. It's the feeling that you're no longer attractive, no longer worthy of desire, no longer interesting. It's not about the skin. It's about how you see yourself. And if a woman doesn't feel love for her body, she won't open up even to the gentlest partner. What to do? First and foremost, stop fighting with your body. It's not the enemy. It hasn't let you down. It simply lived with you all these years. Start taking care of your body, not for youth, but out of respect. Treat your body with touch, massages, oils, baths, as an act of love, not a battle with wrinkles. And change your internal dialogue. I've changed, but I'm still a woman. I have the right to tenderness. Even with a body that's no longer young. Because true intimacy doesn't begin with the figure. It starts with how you see yourself, and whether you allow yourself to be alive, real, and feeling. The fourth reason, which touches not only the body but the heart. This isn't about physiology, hormones, or appearance. It's about trust, emotional safety, and something that cannot be bought with any technology or words. 4. Loss of emotional closeness with a partner. When the body stays silent because the soul doesn't hear a response. In youth, passion sparks easily. Even without depth, without conversation, without a real connection. But after 60, everything changes. A woman cannot, and does not want to, open up to someone she doesn't trust. And when warmth, dialogue, and understanding disappear from a relationship, so does desire. Because the body no longer lives for stimulation. It reacts to safety, acceptance, depth. How does this manifest? There haven't been sincere conversations for a long time. Intimacy has become mechanical, or it has been absent for years. When the partner touches her, there is no internal response. Only a sense of obligation, discomfort, or alienation. Or even more difficult, there is a partner, but he is emotionally absent. He doesn't see, doesn't ask, doesn't touch the soul. He only expects action, reaction, closeness. In this state, a woman cannot open up her body because inside she is alone. And it's important not to confuse this with lack of desire. Desire may still be there, but it doesn't want to go where it's cold. A woman after 60 wants not only touch. She wants to be heard, to be looked in the eyes, not to be measured by readiness, but to be seen, alive, wise, changed. What to do about it? If you're in a relationship, talk. But not about sex. Talk about closeness, about absence, about silence. Create rituals not for intimacy but for presence, reading together, drinking tea, walking, recalling youth. Touch, not for arousal but for contact. And most importantly, allow yourself to say, I need more warmth than just physical touch. I need light inside. Because intimacy isn't an act. It's the light between two. And if it's gone out, the body simply doesn't respond. And the fifth reason. Sometimes a woman doesn't want intimacy, not because of her body, not because of fatigue, and not because of her partner, but because of a thought that has deeply rooted inside her: my time has passed. This phrase sounds differently for different people. Some say, I'm not into it anymore. Some say, at my age it's no longer important, and some just silently lower their eyes when the topic of love arises. And this thought is the most insidious. It doesn't steal desire, it steals permission for desire. Because you can't want what, in your mind, you're no longer worthy of. You can't feel tenderness if inside you carry the belief that you're no longer the one who can accept it. In this state, a woman gradually disconnects from her own physicality. It's as if she closes the door to herself. Not because she doesn't want to, but because she believes that this is no longer hers. This isn't physiology. This isn't hormones. It's a wound of estrangement from oneself. It forms slowly, through advertisements that say sexuality has an age, through silence in which desires after 60 are not discussed, through experiences where you were seen as a mother, a housekeeper, a support, but not as a woman. And then, you begin to believe it yourself. But the truth is different. A woman's time doesn't pass. It just changes shape. Intimacy in later life is not a replica of youth. It is a deeper, calmer, warmer closeness. It's not about a perfect body, not about passions. It's about presence. It's about allowing yourself to breathe through a body that has lived a lot and is still living. It's about being able to be tender, to feel, to touch, to open up, not for someone else, but for yourself. No one has the right to take away a woman's right to desire. Not even time, not even society, not even herself. Because once she allows herself to feel alive again, her body will respond. Maybe not immediately, but it will come back, because it hasn't forgotten what it's like to be loved. This was the last reason, but not the last word. Because each of them is not a verdict. It is an invitation to new tenderness, new listening to oneself, a new perspective on intimacy. Write in the comments if this resonated with you, and if it did, don't stay silent, because your silence might resemble hundreds of others. But the words spoken aloud can awaken not only you, but also another woman, the one who is silent beside you. So why does a woman over 60 sometimes not desire love? Not because she has become unnecessary, and not because aging has taken away her femininity, but because her body, soul, and heart have gone through a long journey, and now they don't want haste, obligation, or demands. They want depth, silence, warmth, presence. Intimacy in mature age is not a continuation of youth. It's a different language, a language where the main thing is not action, but feeling, not appearance, but acceptance, not arousal, but trust. If you are in this state now, know this: everything is fine with you. It's normal to not want it. It's normal to be afraid. It's normal to remain silent. But it's also normal to feel again, to feel in a new way. Allow yourself to be alive. Not perfect, but alive. After 60, life doesn't stop. It just learns to speak with a different voice, quieter, warmer, but real. And this voice is the most honest because it no longer plays roles. It doesn't seek action. It seeks meeting with yourself, with your body, with those you can trust. If you've reached this point, thank yourself, because this is already a step toward being in contact with yourself, not as a function, but as a woman who still has fire within her, just different, deeper. Subscribe if this path resonates with you, because here we are not afraid of change. We learn to live in it. Truly.